Thank you for joining me for the Sabo Stretch Frequently Asked Questions or FAQ video. During this video, we will supply answers to popular questions that we receive about the Sabo Stretch and show you how to resolve them. For those of you not familiar with the Sabo Stretch, it is a dynamic resting hand splint that is adjustable, comfortable, and best of all, allows your fingers to curl when spasticity or tone increases and helps straighten them back out when it decreases. One frequently asked question that we get about the Sabo Stretch is, will the Sabo Stretch improve my hand function? The short answer is no. And the reason I say no is because it's not designed to specifically address hand function. What the Sabo Stretch is designed to do is combat the spasticity and tone that negatively affect your hand and its function. The Sabo Stretch will address soft tissue shortening, contractures, joint deformities, and other negative things that come from a hand that has unmanaged spasticity and tone. To improve your hand function, you may want to look at the Sabo Flex. The Sabo Flex is our flagship product and was developed to be utilized as a functional training device for people with moderate to severe spasticity. The Spring Assist system helps people extend their fingers following grasp and release training, and thus helps reduce spasticity for functional training. If you have little to no tone, then you may want to check out the Sabo Glove. The Sabo Glove is a low-profile finger extension device that is meant to be worn all day during functional tasks. Some customers have asked us, how do I know my size? Regardless of where you purchase your Sabo Stretch, whether online, from a retailer, or from one of our representatives, the measurement is all the same. Let me show you. Take any measurement device that you would like and measure across the width of your hand just in front of your knuckles. Check out this photo for a little better diagram. The key to the measurement is to not wrap the measuring device over the edge of your hand. Just measure the exact width of your hand. Then take that number and compare it to the sizing chart. For an extra small, you'll be 1 3/4 to 2 inches wide. For an extra small, you'll be 2 inches to 2 1/4 inches wide. For a small, you'll be 2 1/4 to 2 3/4 inches wide. For a medium, you'll be 2 3/4 inches to 3 1/4 inch wide. And for a large, you'll be 3 1/4 inch to 4 inches or more. Another frequent question we get about the Sabo Stretch is, how do I know if I've applied the Sabo Stretch correctly? Inside your manual, we have a step-by-step instruction on how to properly set up and apply the Sabo Stretch. Also, if you go visit our YouTube page, we have some explanatory videos showing you how to fit and apply the Sabo Stretch. However, I'm going to run you through the important steps to help you out. The first step is find the wrist angle. If you look in the description below, I have included a video of the co-founder of Sabo, Henry Hoffman, showing you how to find someone's wrist angle. Then, once you obtain that wrist angle, you match it with the Sabo Stretch by either bending it or placing it on the edge of the table and bending it. Just an FYI, it's going to be somewhat difficult for the person wearing the Sabo Stretch to find their own wrist angle. We suggest that you ask for assistance when finding that angle. The next step is to bend the forearm stabilizers to keep your forearm from moving side to side. The third step is adjusting the thumb. This takes 2 steps. The first step is to move your thumb away from your index finger and put the webbing on stretch. Then, move your thumb away from the palm to increase that stretch. Refer to your manual for more details. Another key component to setting up the thumb mount is to bend the thumb tab. When you put up the thumb tab, this stops your thumb from pulling out of the thumb mount. The fifth step to applying the Sabo Stretch is to position your hand prior to strapping it in place. Many people will put their hand onto their Sabo Stretch, but not in the right place. Then when they strap it on, of course, it's now strapped in the wrong place. To avoid this, when you first lay your hand on the Sabo Stretch, make sure that your middle finger is even with the edge of the hand plate. Then proceed to the next step. Applying the straps properly is very important to keeping your hand in place while wearing the Sabo Stretch. The key is to have the straps securely hold your hand and forearm in place, allowing the Sabo Stretch to offer you optimal assistance with protecting your joints and combating tissue shortening. The final step of applying the Sabo Stretch is to check to see if the hand plate is perfect for you. Your Sabo Stretch comes with 3 different interchangeable hand plates. It will arrive with the red hand plate already installed, which is medium resistance and works for most of the clients that wear the Sabo Stretch. It will also come with the yellow hand plate, which is least resistance, and a blue hand plate, which is the most resistance. If you have low to medium tone, the red hand plate is probably the one that you're going to need. To test if the resistance is the right amount for you, we usually ask our clients to stand up after donning the Sabo Stretch and take a couple steps. This is because your tone usually increases when you exert yourself. Then, after taking a couple of steps, look at your hand in the Sabo Stretch. If your fingers are in the same place as when you strap them in, the hand plate resistance and your wrist angle are correct. If your fingers are sliding out of the straps, you're going to want to reduce the wrist angle, check your straps for tightness, and/or change to the yellow hand plate. If your fingers are curling the plate far, you might want to try inserting the blue hand plate. As I stated before, these hand plates are interchangeable and can be swapped out at any time in different phases of your recovery. Some customers want to know, how long should I wear my splint? The answer really depends on the person wearing the Sabo Stretch. Research shows that wearing a splint for more than 6 hours continually has the most benefit for reducing spasticity, which is why we recommend that you gradually increase your wearing time up to 6 to 8 hours with no adverse effects like pain, redness that doesn't go away in 30 minutes, poor circulation, etc. Most of our customers wear the splint at night to get the most amount of time in the splint before participating in their daily tasks. We also recommend that if you're having increased tone during the day, to periodically wear the splint to help keep your joints in a safe position and keep your tendons from getting tight. One more question we get asked from Sabo Stretch users is, how do I stop my fingers from pulling out of the straps? People usually complain of this happening because of 3 common reasons. 1, the wrist angle is not set properly on the Sabo Stretch. If the wrist position is an extension or bent upward, you will need to bend the wrist downward until the fingers stay in the splint. If the fingers are sliding out and the Sabo Stretch is pretty flat, you will need to bend the wrist angle downward to keep the fingers straight. We have instructions in your manual and explanatory videos on how to determine the correct wrist position. 2, if the wrist angle is correct, then you need to lower the resistance of the hand plate. If you have the red hand plate on the Sabo Stretch, you need to change it to the yellow hand plate. If you have the blue hand plate on the Sabo Stretch, you will need to change it to the red hand plate. The 3rd common reason that people's fingers would be popping out of the straps is because the Sabo Stretch itself has slid down and the hand is no longer in the correct position. To fix this, you're going to unstrap the Sabo Stretch and reapply it. One easy way to make sure that the straps are in the correct position is aligning the tip of your middle finger with the end of the hand plate prior to applying straps to the forearm and hand. We hope that you've enjoyed this video and the answers to many of our frequently asked questions about the Sabo Stretch. For more information on the Sabo Stretch or any of our other innovative devices, please visit www.sabo.com, visit any of our social media sites, or our YouTube page where we consistently update resources for your pleasure and knowledge. And remember, with Sabo, there is no plateau in sight.